Why does it feel like the last three notes of that music take 7.5 minutes compared to the 2 previous minutes? I don't understand.
I would agree.
Yeah. Welcome everybody to the Daily Driver / Rain edition of PowerShift. We are talking tonight in honor of the fact that it seems like everybody in the country that lives in all the places where most people live, or I shouldn't say that, where most of our viewers live, have been getting sucked away or washed away. So tornadoes, rain, etc. Today here, the storms went south of us, like way south. I mean, so far south that it was weird. Like, how did the weathermen and the prediction things not know it was going to go that far south? It's not uncommon for Texas weather to be within 5 miles north or south or east or west, but this is like 100 miles. Is way off. Yeah,
a little off,
way off. So
depends on the map that they were looking at.
Yeah, what the scale is. Like that. Sure, of course. It's like, is that like when you read a map and you turn it?
Yeah.
It's
maybe they're looking at it upside down.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. We are joined this evening by Wickman and Crosby as usual. McTaggart is out, and we had we got a Steven instead. So McT was doing a family thing tonight, and that was way more important. So we will miss him. But like I said, we were talking about at first it was driving your hot rod in the rain, and then it made me think, okay, daily driving a hot rod, what do you got to think about there too? But I was laughing when I put in to look for some pictures, of hot rods in the rain. I end up getting a Roadkill Customs blog item that comes up. And the blog item is legitimately, I'm not making fun, but I'm making fun. It's tips and tricks for driving in the rain. Like, that's literally what it's from 2017. Now, the picture that they have on the story is great. It's a 32 Ford Roadster in the rain. It's nuts. But this feels so much like one of those, stories that somebody paid to put up on the website, because there's just no way that most of this came from some hot rod person. But, whatever. So
Written by someone at the AAA.
Do what?
Written by someone at the AAA.
Yes, that's exactly what it seems like. It's exactly what it seems like. So the picture, though, I will show you the picture because the picture is pretty rad. Because this is pretty hardcore. If you are, I'm a guy that has driven hot rods as daily drivers a bunch of times, and it's no big deal, but for a lot of people it is a really big deal. So, and I mean, I've driven a lot of stuff in a lot of different rain, but that one's pretty legit right there. I mean, if the top was down it'd be more hardcore, but that's pretty legit right there with no fenders. Holy crap.
Top down and wearing helmets.
Yeah.
With
Yeah. I mean, maybe the inside of the trunk isn't going to be wet in the first 5 minutes. Otherwise, every surface in and under that car is wet. Like, it will never be clean again unless you flip it over upside down.
Shit, yes, he's at 32 in the rain. It looks like a freaking party favor.
Right? Because just shooting stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, one of the things that I thought of when I was looking at this one was, and I know you guys have seen this, but the picture of Rusty, my 56 Chevy, in the rain.
Hey, you know your bumper's on upside down?
I do.
Oh my
God. That was on Power Tour in 2005. That was the day. It was either the day before or the day after Wes Allison had shot the feature on it. But what was really funny was after this shot, whatever day it was, we were in the hotel, standing there talking to Wes and asking him what shutter speed he had going on his camera. And it was ungodly slow to make this, all these pan blur shots we had been doing. And it's pouring rain and he's hanging out you can only hang out the window for like 5 or 6 seconds at a time, because then he had to come in and like wipe his face off in the camera, Well, he shot a jillion photos of this thing going down the road, rollers with it in the rain. And it was just awesome. But what was particularly funny about this was that either a few minutes before or after this, one of the guys, I think it was Harley, was in the back seat, and he looks in this right rear corner back here, okay, where the window curves around the back, and water was cascading down the glass, and there was a moment of panic because he didn't know whether it was inside the car or outside the car. The reason that's extra funny is because he climbed back there and determined it was, in fact, in the outside of the car. But 2 or 3 minutes later, when water was dripping on my right knee, we determined that most of the water going up the windshield was, in fact, coming over the top of it and back down. It's fine. It's fine. Right. All the electronics in they're fine. It's totally fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, it was hilarious. But you will note that this car has no windshield wipers. Those are the little nubs, that would have factory been wipers. This car had wipers on it for less than 24 hours one time on drag week when they made us have wipers the second year because I didn't have wipers. So I put some cheapy, like the screw drive ones on it, and they disintegrated about 5 seconds after they told me I could shut them off from going through tech. All I had to do was have them on there in tech and that the wiper arms were still on the car. So I tech screwed the wiper arms to being laying there so they looked like it had wipers on it.
Well, I sent
But
you
in
that
that
picture.
trim with nothing but Rain-X, we went through a hurricane on the way home from this power tour, actually. So yeah, Rain-X is
Well, you
great.
couldn't
It's
see
fine.
with wipers on it anyway in that kind of weather.
Oh, that's 100% true. Yes, 100% true.
I sent you a picture of the Green Monster when we were at Optima and it was raining.
Yeah. This, I loved this car. Who owns it now? Anyway,
Who owns what?
the Green Monster.
Danny does.
He still has it?
No, it's down at Best of Show.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he still had it.
Yeah. It's a point of contention, I think.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
It's sitting outside.
This is the car we're talking
Oh,
about.
that one.
Yeah, and that thing. So this was in Vegas. Yeah, for
one of the 3 days of the year that it actually rains. It rained on us at Optima that year.
Doing the cruise. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it rained in Vegas for LS Fest and for Optima and Laguna Seca.
Oh, no way.
Fun.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, right.
Don't be.
I got smart. I just send the car now.
Yeah.
Well, so in the Optima series, they run rain or shine as long as they can do so safely. I don't know that they've ever canceled an autocross, but I know they've canceled doing road course because of rain. You know.
Yeah, we ended up missing the Saturday road course sessions,
right,
and the afternoon autocross.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
They ended up having to just use the morning sessions, and then they just let people kind of free run, in the wet in the afternoon.
Yeah, just to have some fun.
Yeah.
Well, so here's my deal with hot rods in the rain. I mean, I've never been, the one that's going to go like take my Camaro out in the rain most of the time. But that's because it's convertible and the top is never up on it. But Steven's been in it with me when it rained on us 2 or 3 times that week on
I was going to say
race week, So
the strategically placed Sonic Cup on the center console caught the drip from the top.
Yeah, because it would drip right in the middle. It would drip where that
behind the rearview mirror.
Yeah, right where the rear view mirror is, because that's where the 2 pieces of trim come together with the covered piece. And I think the cover one on that thing is a reproduction, and it just doesn't fit right. So, it would drip, and literally Steven goes, and puts his styrofoam cup there, which will stay. It won't move around. It doesn't slide on the carbon. So it's sitting there just catching the drips. It's perfect. It's great. We had a great time driving that car across country.
Did we
and
have wipers on that, or did we just rain next to windows?
Yes. No, we had windshield wipers on it. Yes, because it always had windshield wipers. But we had to hook them up and see what it worked.
I think we wired them to a toggle switch or something on the road.
I think we did too, because I think that the wiper switch, something was wrong with it, and it would only go in low speed or something. So yeah, we were all good. But Rusty, I mean, I drove the 56 wagon. I drove Rusty daily for years. So, I mean, years and years. That thing's been in the rain. I mean, I don't know, 100 times at least. I mean, yeah.
Well, it doesn't get the name Rusty for nothing.
Right? Yeah. Well, and I mean, that car shouldn't say had, it's still this way, has no door weather stripping. I mean, there's whatever remnants are still on it that keeps some of the doors from not rattling, and other ones have none, so they just rattle. Whatever, it's fine. So yeah, it's full flow airflow whether the windows are open or closed. Yeah, it's fine. There's no carpet.
That's the issue with the OBS, because what I had the incident with the I-beam and buckled the roof.
Yeah,
basically you can't get the windshield to seal at that part of the roof section.
So if it rains, you're getting wet
for stuff like that.
What's that?
Yeah, Steven, do you even know that story?
I do not.
Yeah.
You need to share the photo, Wickman, or send it to me. Wickman
find it.
is, if you want, I mean, luckily none of this stuff happens when he's with anybody else, because otherwise all of his friends would be dead. Weirdo, scary, freaky things that have never happened to another human being on Earth or rarely happen to human beings happen to Wickman all the time. So, like recently, like whatever it was 6 months ago, he gets run into by a guy on the freeway, goes off the freeway and flips over upside down in his car and calmly sends me a picture that he made the fireman take after they've cut the roof off the car to get him out. And he sends it to me and goes, "Had an accident today." And I'm looking at the thing going, that thing's upside down and the roof's gone. I think that's Wickman in it. Yeah. So anyway, that's all interesting. Really, but it's not like the I-beam, an actual steel piece of I-beam that flew through the air and then hit the roof and windshield of Wickman's OBS Chevy pickup and ended up in the truck with him. So yeah, it's fine. I mean,
I'm waiting for the lightning strike.
Yes, exactly. It totaled the truck. I mean, he still owns it, but they totaled the truck because it was.
Yeah, they had to pay him out $57.
Like $63, whatever. It was prettier then, I think. Was it? Yeah, I remember it as being nicer then.
It was a lot nicer then.
Okay, good. Yeah, so I mean, like, when you see on the movies and there's like, the bad guys are in the car chase and there's this random scaffolding truck going down the road slower than everybody else, and you're like, somebody's gonna die into the back of that thing. Well, that is Wickman. Wickman is the guy. Except somehow Wickman would run into the scaffolding truck and the front of his truck would look like a porcupine, right? And then all of a sudden they'd pan to the side and Wickman would be right. There'd be like things right here. He'd have under an armpit and he would have somehow come out unscathed, but he'd be like, "Can somebody get me out of here?" I mean, that's Wickman. It's 100% all the time. Am I right?
Yeah, I'm looking. I have it someplace.
Speaking of pictures, Steven, you didn't send me my new profile picture, remember?
Which one?
The grinder kerosene.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
what?
Yeah. You need to send this to me.
Oh,
I forgot.
And fire safety.
Yeah, it's me and fire safety. It's fine.
Yeah.
Is that like you welding in my shop in flip-flops?
Oh, well, I have pictures of that,
like
too.
Me welding in my shop in flip-flops for the last, I don't know, 25 years. Okay, Wickman, did you send it to me? You did. Yeah. Okay, so here's... Okay, but we don't have the I-beam itself, huh?
No, well, that's...
It's fine, it's fine. It's fine. So, this is what Wickman's truck looked like.
Oh. All right.
And the windshield still doesn't seal?
No.
Yeah, because that.
Well, if you look at the top of the roof right there, that what happened was the I-beam went up in the air, and when it was coming down, it caught the top of the cab and basically flipped in like that.
Oh, okay.
So when it flipped in, basically that's why the hole's so big in the windshield, and it took out the dash.
You're lucky that thing didn't go through your head.
Oh, and the seat, because I had a bench seat in it, basically was like U-shaped.
Jeez.
So what I did after insurance did their thing, I got the truck back. I took the bench seat out and straightened it out. Basically, I sat on the back of it, and that straightened it out.
Okay. Whatever works, right?
Too easy. I'm not even going to jump on that one.
Uh-huh.
Then removing the broken glass, I neglected in wearing proper safety gear. So the hood that was on the truck actually ended up looking like a crime scene.
Oh boy.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
You know, you're an accident waiting to happen, and I never think about it when I'm with you and could die.
Yeah.
Nothing happens to him when other people are in the car. He should
Thank
ride
God.
around with people with him more often.
Thank God. Okay. Here's the photo that Stephen and I are alluding to for those of you that want to see this. This is quite possibly the finest photo that Stephen has ever taken, actually. And that's not just because I'm in it. If you look real careful at this photo, it gets more and more entertaining. I'm telling you. Okay. Oh God. Yeah. So everybody out there, you got to get a real good look at this bad boy.
I forgot about this one. Yeah.
So I am cutting the splines off, or the end off of the yoke for the drive shaft because it's too long and it's bottoming out inside. So I'm cutting that off. That's fine, right? It's fine. There are 6 fire extinguishers right next
Notice
to
that.
Yeah.
which is great because there's also there is a can
There
of
is a can of acetone or something there.
There is a can of acetone. That is exactly what that is. That is a can of acetone.
Then you just crop out the brake clean.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Then there's brake clean. Yeah.
And
So
at your feet.
there's Oh shit, wrong one. Yeah. So there's brake clean down here.
Oily rag right there.
Yes, oily rags, acetone. There are papers and all kinds of other flammable things here.
The gas can.
Yeah, the gas can down here and a generator that's gas powered. It was excellent. I mean, this was on the 13-day thrash to build my Camaro.
Yeah.
And
let me tell you something.
We did a fine job. It was greatness. But yeah,
Fucking Fire Marshal Bill over here.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I'm gonna make this my profile picture because it's just too good.
Let's just say you're cutting your drive shaft.
The funniest part about it was I didn't even think about it. I mean, I literally just started cutting away. I mean, because I've done it 28 times by now. So I'm sitting there and Steven takes the picture and then starts to laugh. And I mean, we were laughing our asses off. It's like, it's fine because the fire would be big enough that you couldn't get to the fire extinguisher. So it would be fine. But when they got hot enough to explode, hopefully they took out the fire,
Yeah.
Well, could possibly
always have your fire extinguishers in strategically placed locations.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So when Freiberger and I built the Car Junkie TV shop, the city of Burbank had to come and check that we had, fire extinguishers and everything. And they didn't have, there's no actual regulation for how close they must be. So when I say that, there is, but it's not clear. So one of the things was I don't remember. Let's say it was you have to have one every 12 to 20 feet. Well, then there was verbiage about them with regards to doors, and the two things didn't go together. So it made it to where you either had to follow one rule or the other rule. So I just hedged our bet and, made sure that there was one every 12 feet no matter what. And they were on both sides of the door and all this. And the fire marshal guy comes in, and Freiberger was gone. He comes in to do this inspection. And I mean, I have everything dead nuts, right? I have fireproof, cabinets. I have all the things. He comes in, he walks around. He's already complaining before he starts even looking at anything. 30 minutes later, he's like, this is the first time I've ever come and done an inspection where there weren't, 3 or 4 infractions, and where usually I couldn't give them a certificate of occupancy unless they fixed 1 or 2 things. And he goes, "You've gone so overboard, I'm kind of worried about it." And I said, "You don't need to worry about it. I mean, you don't call night, or you don't come when we call 911 for a fire, right?" And he's like looking at me, and I'm thinking to myself, "Dude, we are gonna light some shit on fire here." Yes, this is happening.
As Chad is smoking a cigarette with a oily rag in his hand.
Yes, exactly.
That's the only
Oily
thing
fingers,
that photo was
yes.
missing.
Yeah, it would be hilarious.
Everybody acts like they got something to live for.
Yeah. Yeah, Edward says, "Here lays Chad, took out by grinding." Yes. Yes. It's fine. God. Okay, so everybody in the chat, let us know, do you or don't you drive your hot rods in the rain? Okay, so, but I don't drive smart things anyway. So if you were going to daily drive a hot rod, which meant you were going to have to drive it in the rain, I mean, is there anything in particular? Is there a hot rod you wouldn't drive in the rain, or is there anything in particular that your daily driver hot rod has to have in order to be, a street
After
car?
driving open fendered cars, I would prefer something with fenders on it in the rain.
Yeah.
So that would be my only clue to most people.
Right. What about you, Steven?
I mean, if it has a windshield, what else?
Right. Well, it's funny so that's the thing I was going to say is that I have to say, if I had to choose, like, let's say you only got one of these two things, I'd rather have a defroster than windshield wipers in a hot rod.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because the defroster, that's the thing that usually sucks, is when the thing
I did put them in the 32.
That's true. You did put them in the 32. Well, and that's what's crazy.
AC, the heater works, AC, everything.
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy. I own more cars with no HVAC than cars with them.
Yeah. Well, it's got 2-inch louvers for defroster regular.
Yeah, so it works like a champ.
Yep.
What about you, Wickman? You live somewhere where there's snow. Is rain just for weenies and snow is really where it's at, or what?
Well, my biggest thing being here is that tires are like right there. Depending on what you have, of course, having as many trucks as I do, I've got 4 sets of wheels and tires to switch between everything. But like the Volvo that I drive every day, like I was telling before we started the show about tires on it, and that's huge. I mean, having a good all season tire here, because we're supposed to get snow tomorrow here.
Again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And so having that, and of course, like James touched on, is the defroster as well. That's, I'm fortunate enough where the Volvo, that car has full blown heat within a mile of driving it.
Right.
So it heats up quick and it gets hot in there. So that's a lot of cabin space to fill up, to warm up too as well in it. So is that Mangus's or?
He bought it back.
He bought it. Holy.
No way.
Yeah.
How did you get it, or what are you doing to it?
I stole it. Don't tell him. Everybody be quiet and don't tell Ron I got his truck.
I saw it in Houston at the Autorama in 2015 or 2016 last time I saw it.
Yeah, it's still got a Tejas plate on it.
Yeah, because
he just got it back about, I don't know, week and a half ago, 3 days before I got it.
Yeah, because I was talking to the guy at the show, and I'm like, is Ron here? He's like, oh no, I bought his truck. I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, I'm like, are you leaving the door lettering on it? And he's like, oh yeah, it's part of the truck. So I was like, oh, okay.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
We're putting a TKX in it and boreless stack injection on it.
Nice.
That's
and I'm moving the freaking ugly ass AC compressor to the left side low, so it's not hanging out of it.
When did he build that thing?
Oh, shit.
I don't think he built it. Somebody else built it. He bought it. I fixed the air right on it 10 years ago.
Okay.
And because it's air on the rear, but it's a semi-elliptical on the front. It's a neat little truck, but
Oh yeah, that truck's rad.
What year is the thing?
35.
I believe 35.
Okay.
But
That's awesome.
this bothers me.
Oh yeah,
God,
you see it?
Oh,
it hangs
When I saw that-
outside the hood line, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh no, that would have to go. Wow.
Yeah.
But this is the part I like, though.
The badass interior.
No, that
No,
it has suicide doors, but the handles are still in the right place.
Yeah.
I love that. Yep. I've seen that only a couple of times, but it's great. Yeah, because you end up with still door handles that work right.
Yep. I pulled the trans out of it. For the life of me, I've never seen one.
What is it?
Aluminum case. It's got a divorced reverse off the side cover. It looks like a 210 or a T10, but
Is it a Doug Nash 5-speed?
No.
Huh.
It is. Took me the longest time to figure. I called everybody, asking them what it was.
Really?
And you see it?
Yeah.
Know what it is?
What engine's in the thing?
It's got a small block in it.
Okay. I don't know. What is it?
It is a new process, 4-speed out of a C10.
Really?
Like 81 to 87.
Huh.
It said.
Wow.
It's got a 0.7 fourth gear.
Oh, so it's an A833.
Yeah.
Is what Mopar would have called it.
Yeah.
And it's
got like 3 ribs on the bottom of it.
Yeah, that's the transmission that Liggett used in everything forever, because they're dirt cheap. You get them at the wrecking yard for $5, and you get a 4-speed that's really like a 3-speed with a fourth as overdrive. Yeah. I've driven a car of his with it, but I never paid any attention to actually if I've seen the trans. I just know that overdrive fourth is that's what it is, or it's.
But they're only good for 300 foot-pounds of torque maximum. And I think one of the statements I saw was, and good luck with that.
So an A833 is the Mopar Trans. It is also called a new process 440, an NP 440. So there you go.
Well, that's how I figured it out. It's got an NP on the right side of it, upside down.
Oh,
it's inverted.
Huh.
So I started looking up, and I'm like, it's got to be a new process, because I kept seeing that name come up, and that's exactly what it was.
That's funny.
It's like
but it's getting a TKX with basically the same overdrive, but it won't struggle to get out of the hole so hard because it have a lower first.
Is that how much longer is that TKX versus that?
Something unit? Like an inch and a half longer.
Oh shit!
If that inch or so, and it's got bell housing mounts on it, so I'm just hanging the trans off the back of it.
And just modify the the dry shaft.
Yeah, and then put a new shifter hole in it, and I'm going to modify the tunnel to give more. There's no room for your foot for the gas pedal. Gas pedal's almost underneath the brake pedal, which is kind of disturbing.
Well, what's funny about that though is that we're sitting here talking about cars that would you drive it in the rain, would you daily drive a hot rod and stuff. The reality is, if that thing is just a hot rod that you're going to go drive 5 miles as you idle it around the Good Guys show, people aren't thinking about that stuff, right? But if you're actually going to drive the hot rods, then that's the crap that ends up annoying the hell out of you, that you can't get your foot comfortable in it, because if you're only driving, you're idling around, or you're only driving it for 5 minutes, and it's in town, you never get a chance to actually sit back and, get yourself in a cruising position. And if the cruising position sucks, then you're not going to want to drive that,
I kept moving the padding around in the 32 when we were on the power tour. And I finally figured out, I took the 2-piece pad out of the back of it, slid it down to where I get my shoulders back, a lot more comfortable.
Right.
But seating position, seeing out of that thing and stuff like that that's fine. But man, in the rain, that thing with those big tires on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like driving on an ice skating rink.
Oh yeah. Well, that's like, Daphne's car, we would typically drive it from Southern California to wherever Rocky Mountain Race Week was starting. And that could be as far away as Kearney, Nebraska, or as close as, Denver, Colorado. And, we would drive there typically on a set of street tires. And then when we would get to town, we would have those street tires taken off the rear wheels and have the drag radials put on. And then we would run all week on the drag radials. And then before we left town, we would swap them back to the street tires. So if we were on Rocky Mountain Race Week and it rained, we were on drag radials, and that is not great at all. It's not nearly as bad as like the bias ply, cheater slicks that, like Mickey Thompson, had before, like the ET Streets, the original ET Streets, but it's still not good. But then, you usually weren't going as fast. You were on like a really crowned road, whatever. You weren't on like big interstates. So then we, swap out the tires and head for home. Well, I remember one year we didn't, whatever the day was that it changed, that, Rocky Mountain Race Week was over, we couldn't get into a tire place. So we just drove home on the radials. Well, I remember being in Victorville, okay, coming down almost home, right? We're in Victorville. We're an hour from home. And as it is wont to do on, in the high desert, it started pouring rain. And dude, that car, it was worse than driving at Bonneville where you let the car just do the happy dance and move around. Dude, this son of a bitch took 3 lanes, and I had no clue. I was like, man, you go on with your bad self. You go wherever it is you want to go, because I am not dumb enough to try and stop you right now. I mean, it was sketchy. Daphne was on the other side just holding on for dear life. It was like, because when you get on a flat road and get a bunch of rain under those tires, and they're only a 275, but they're tall, comparatively. So,
Yeah, Daphne's over there offering up all the moral support she can at the moment. You're going to kill us!
Exactly. Well, and so, like, Steven, what size tire is on the back of your Camaro? It's not a 315. What is it, like 295?
It's a 305.
305. Okay. So how is that? And which ones are you running on your car?
It had Falcons on it. I actually tried Yokohamas for Optima, but both are fine.
Yeah. All right. Have you driven either one of them in the rain yet?
Well, both of them. I had Falcons on it for LSF.
Oh, okay, I got you. So you swapped between the two events.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are a ultra high performance tire. They are not, it doesn't say don't drive them in the rain, but that's their weak point, would be driving in the rain. Are they sketchy or no?
There's a surprising amount of grip. It's not ideal, but there's more there than you would anticipate.
Gotcha.
That's where weight helps you.
Yeah.
That's true. The other thing is that, the car, what year is your Camaro?
18.
Yeah, okay, 2018. So the thing's got so much electronics in it that also do great things for you. Right. And I realize that you have a lot of those turned off, when you're doing it. But on the road, if you were, huh?
I said step one is to turn it all off.
Yeah, exactly. But if you were going down the freeway in that thing, you'd leave all that stuff on because who cares? Yeah. And it really can do amazing things, right? But it's it's one of those deals where you get into something older that doesn't have it, or you get into something real lightweight, like you said, Crosby, on a big tire. And in the case of the 32, it's a big tire front and rear. So you don't even have one end trying to hang tight. Both ends are moving around, so no.
Yeah, it's you let as much pressure out as you can and say your prayers and roll on down the road.
Right? The what's the sketchiest thing you've ever driven in the rain, Wickman?
Oh, man.
I'll tell you that I thought S10 when Larson and I built the S10, I thought it would be the scariest thing in the rain because it had a 24-inch wide rear tire, but it had those Mickey Thompson Sportsman SR, that's the new radial pro street tire.
Yeah.
Dude, those things threw out insane rooster tails of water out of them. I mean, that thing was perfectly fine. And I mean, of course, I was a little skinny, so
This is going to be funny. The sketchiest thing was the 2016 Mustang GT with the
really
with the factory Pirelli tires.
Really?
Yes. For some reason, those tires did not like cold or rain.
Really?
Yes, that car literally just.
I don't believe you. The Pirellis are what were on Lamborghini Countachs. They must be the best tire.
I don't know. I don't know the reasoning why, but trying to drive that car, especially when we had that one cold snap in Texas, in Central Texas, just pulling away from like a stoplight, the car is just like literally you're trying to just feather it so much, but just yet trying to pull away from the intersection is like the car's just going sideways on you and getting screamed at. It's like, why are you driving like that? And I'm like, it's the freaking tires. But
well, and what's funny about that too is that here we are talking about rain, and like that's the bad thing when if it's a daily driver. But the reality is, like, Steven now lives where it snows and gets ice and all that. That's a whole snow is no big deal. Like packed snow has lots of grip. That's great if you have good tires. But it's the ice that's the sketchiest thing. Like, because there's nothing you can do with that.
My Volvo is such a flippin' blast to drive in the snow here. It is just unbelievable. I have so much fun in that car, even though it is like a gutless turd. First gear.
No, that's why it's so much fun in the snow.
Yeah,
because it's a gutless turd.
First gear is so low. It's just like, I mean, just going around any little corner is like just tapping the gas, and it gets that ass end just starts coming around. It's just like 15 miles an hour, just drift around the corner, and people are just like, this guy's an idiot. And I'm just having a blast in this thing.
Exactly. Well, Steven moved to the snow and then went, well, I need to have a snow truck. I'll have another one for the snow.
Yeah.
It'll be lowered too, but it's 4-wheel drive. So it's fine. It's perfect. Is that thing fun to play in the snow in?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Steven, where are you at?
What was that?
Where are you at?
Salt Lake.
Okay. So you're not that far from me then. I'm just outside Denver.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
The sketchiest thing I've ever done in weather, I think, was we did the what do you call it? Easy Rider show in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I had the Bonneville bike with me to put on display. And I couldn't get in to unload underneath the awning. So I just unloaded it in the parking lot across the street in the snow with shaved tires.
Oh.
No headlights, no brake light, no tail light. As the cop pulls up beside me and Arlen Ness going, you guys didn't ride here, did you? And I'm like, got a little nipply going through the pass.
God, no. Holy
crap. The cop just shook his head and just rolled the window up and left.
Now,
that's the thing too. It's like being here in Denver, I've seen like weather, cops do not want to get out in the weather.
No.
So they don't like being
out. Do they do like I saw you doing the bad thing, but you and I both know it's snowing. So don't do the bad thing anymore. Is that what you're getting from them instead of them actually pulling you over, or what?
Yeah, pretty much.
Did you ever watch Drew Carey? He goes, now that I got money, I get out in my car when it rains and I go run stop signs. And the cop pulls me over. You know why I pulled you over? You know why I ran the stop sign?
I love that. Drew Carey's awesome. Oh, God.
At least it ain't snowing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I put this in the description thing on here, which was what makes a streetcar a streetcar. Is there like any one thing you guys think it has to have?
Cup holder.
Yeah.
Ooh, cup holder.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. We did not have cup holders in my Camaro. The only saving grace is that the console is flat. Yeah. So you can set it's perfectly flat on a 69 Camaro, and a styrofoam cup will ride all the way across country on that bastard.
It was no problem.
Yeah, before Power Tour, I put cup holders in the 32. That was like a must.
That's my biggest gripe with the Volvo is not having a cup holder.
What about you, Steven?
Yeah, what do you say it's got to have besides cup holders?
I don't know. Cup holder's big on that list.
I know, right? I know. Crosby screwed it up because I was like, because we've already covered that we don't need wipers, right? Don't care. We do need a defroster.
Okay. This was 2015 or 2016. I was shooting the NHRA Nationals there in Baytown, and leaving my place going to the track. There's a Whataburger that's like halfway there. I always stopped, got something there, and I get this extra large. Of course, the extra large drink from Whataburger is like like ungodly huge.
You mean the barrel?
It is. It's so big that you feel like you're going to squeeze it. It's so heavy, you feel like you're going to squeeze it hard enough, the lid's going to pop off and everything's coming out of it. It's a two-hander. It's crazy.
So my thing is I always wore flip-flops when I drive for some stupid reason, but I had closed-toe shoes at the track. So I get this cup and I'm like, I was driving the OBS and I was like, crap, I don't have any place to put this. And I looked down on the floor, and there's my shoe sitting there. So basically, I grabbed the shoe off the floor, put it in the seat, and put the cup in my shoe.
Perfect.
I like it.
And actually, because there's always people asking us, like with the OBS page, like on Facebook, they're like, "What do you use for a cup holder?" And it's like I'll just put like the picture of the shoe with the Whataburger cup in it, and they're like, "That's flipping genius."
See, and Wickham and I are of the mindset, like all intelligent people, that the 1988 to 93 OBS truck is the best because it has the square dash. So the cup holders
90 all the way to 94, 95 was the first year of the round dash.
Okay, 95 was first. I thought 94
mine was a 94, still had a square dash.
Yeah, square dash was the jam because the cup holder that you could get from the factory bolted to the bottom or the front of the dash right under the radio, and
unless it had a console, then you had a cup holder.
Yeah, that's true. If you did have a bucket seat console truck, it would be. Yeah. But if you had the one on the dash, that thing would hold a gallon. It didn't care. You could sit on it. It was so strong. Then they come out with the round dash, and they have the stupid cup holder that pulls out and is like one flips out and the other one's there. You put anything over 2 pounds in it, it would bounce out.
Your kid's sippy cup would fit in there, and that's about it.
It was horrible.
Holding a soda can.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. It's horrible. Horrible. So yes, another good reason why square dash OBS trucks.
Oh, and those under the dash cup holders are fetching a premium nowadays.
I know. I actually was, I heard about this the other day, so I put them on my search in case, because, I don't own an OBS truck, but you know me and I will at some point. So, whatever.
Yeah. Give it a minute.
Yeah.
Like Joe Dirt, you got a floor mats for a Roadrunner you don't have? Or?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. So I think that if I'm listing something that you got to have for a streetcar is and I'm going to say this is going to sound like, is working windows. And the reason I say that is because you either need to have a Roadster with no windows, or you need to have a car that has roll-up windows that work, because there is nothing more aggravating in a car you're supposed to be driving all the time than to pull up at the airport thing to pay to, for parking, or to get your, toll tag thing or whatever it is, or a drive-up window at McDonald's and not be able to roll the window down. That sucks. So
making sure your speakers aren't too far in your door when you mount the new ones.
True. Well, that's a Wickman problem. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I corrected it. It's fine.
It's fine. How big a spacer did you have to put on there?
No, those clips, those little. Well, I forgot what the hell were those little.
He's cut another hole.
Yeah.
No,
speed nuts. Yes.
Well, where the hole was cut for the speaker, basically, I put those clips like in the door panel and just screwed the speaker to the door panel, and it was fine after that.
Oh, instead of screwing it to the door itself.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
So
for those that don't know, if you are watching the last episode or 2 episodes ago or whatever it was, you would have learned that Wickman put fancy brand new speakers in the door of his Volvo, only to then find out that the window wouldn't roll down. Fabrication.
Well, you put them in and it's cold, and you just like close the door and not even think about it, because like, I'm going to drive the car, roll the windows down, but it's like
thunk.
Yeah. Then when you go to the drive-thru and you go to roll the window down, you're like, fuck.
How far did it roll down to?
Maybe 1.5 inches.
Yeah. just enough where you think my fat fingers might fit through here to get the hand of my lady my money.
Take my money.
Holy crap!
Yeah. Then I'm like pulling up. Then I was like, I'm trying to open the door just past the speaker of the drive-through, so like I can do my order. Then close it, drive around, and get just past the window, so I can like reach around the door, hand the money. And then, then try to like grab my stuff, so make sure I'm not spilling it or dropping it, and pull it in.
Hold on.
Steven's like, what the hell are you guys talking about?
How lazy do you have to be, though, in that scenario, to not just drive up to the store and get out and go inside and order your shit and then go back out?
I normally do, because drive-thrus, well, especially Texas, drive-thrus are normally like 10 deep, no matter where you go.
Exactly.
So I got to the point where I just would walk in.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but you get a margarita with a straw and a lid.
True. That is the thing.
Not
a margarita. It's a daiquiri.
No.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend.
I didn't know why there's a difference, but they're all called daiquiri shops. I don't know. Yeah.
The taco cabanos that are in Texas.
Oh, yes. I forgot
the margaritas that they serve in the little cups.
Yeah.
2 of those cups will fit into one of their large soda cups.
And it is an actual drive-through fast food joint, and they sell beer and margaritas. It's awesome. Yep. Yeah. I remember the very first time I went to one of those, and I was like, wait, what? Why have I not been eating here for a long time? Yeah.
And it's probably the best fast food Mexican
that's true.
That's out there. So
that's true.
Fruity drink with a pink umbrella.
I'm in.
You got that one right.
I'm nothing against fruity drinks with me, so
we know. Okay, so stereo or no stereo? Does the streetcar have to have one?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. See, and for me, you guys know I like, aftermarket stereo systems. So I am either that it has to have a system in it, even if it's simple, like, in the Civic or whatever, or it needs to have nothing. Like, it either needs to make no noise or it need to make good noise. Like crap, like it drives. I would never use it anyway because it would drive.
Well, I told you what I put in the 32, right?
Yeah, I mean,
it's got a rugged radio in it now with headsets.
Oh, the headsets. Yes, I know that. Yeah.
That is the best thing ever.
Is that Bluetooth?
It's like driving in it. That thing can make any rattling noise in the world and you wouldn't hear it.
When the rods are falling out of it.
It's oil pressure. Fuck it.
Did it, So is it Bluetooth to those things or
Yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah.
So
And we can talk back and forth to each other too.
yeah.
You just have to adjust the sensitivity.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That's pretty
But
cool.
that is that's better than you and what's his name rolling down the road in the Corvette with helmets on.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that was me and Sean. I was on Power Tour. That was 2001, I guess it was. And and it was
That was your
cold.
mom's car, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was mom's car. Competition yellow 6-speed 94 Corvette convertible. It was great. And we had the top down, bonsaiing down the road, and it got cold. And we had decided that unless it rained, we were not putting the top on. Like, it was not going in. And so it was cold. So we just put our helmets on because we had brought our helmets because there was one day where it was at the racetrack. And they were going to let us go down the racetrack, but we had to have a helmet. So we had brought our helmets and we were driving down the freeway with our helmets on and the face shields down and just cruising along, passing people, and they freaked them out. It was great.
Didn't you post up some pictures a while back of Cletus driving Leroy in the rain?
Oh, yeah. 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 He, takes it on Rocky Mountain Race Week and all these other events. And when it rains, that thing, the first time they ever drove it in the rain was on Rocky Mountain Race Week, and they went and got.
Didn't they ratchet strap like a table to the roof or something?
Yeah. Something oddball, something like that.
Yeah, it was a plastic table or something.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Then cardboard boxes, and then they had stopped because it was him and was it Brent or was it Kevin? I can't remember which one was with him. It was either Kevin from KSR or it was Brent from PFI, but one of them was with them. They had went to like Cabela's or one of those and bought these tan Tyvek suits. Like they were a rain suit that you would wear like duck hunting or something, I guess. Yeah. And they were tan and they were complete suit. And they bought those and sat in there with those and the radios on, and it was hilarious. It was like, Jesus. Yeah. Yeah, it was bad. It was real bad.
If you can't waterproof the car, you waterproof the driver.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right. Yeah. Steven and I have dogs.
I have a dog too.
I know, but you can't do that with them.
I know Angus
I can.
About
it. Yeah.
Nova says hi, Wickman.
If Steven called his dog in right now, Rusty, and said, "Hey, come over here," Rusty would climb up in his lap in a second.
Oh yeah. He was trying to do that earlier. I had to let him out.
She was behind the chair, like wondering why I wasn't picking her up doing this.
Oh, gotcha. Hilarious.
I don't know what the deal is with the cat, but basically she like exposes her belly. I think she got it from Toby. That's the only thing we can figure out.
Yeah. That's too funny.
But yeah, this is how she like lays and sleeps and all that, so until she gets tired of it.
Nice.
What do you?
Okay, yeah. So like that had air conditioning and stereo and
stereo
cruise control and all. Nowadays the number of people that have cars that are old but still have all the modern or a lot of the modern conveniences, what we would consider modern conveniences, is nuts. I mean, it's just not even remotely out of the realm of of possibilities for somebody to be next to you in a 1970 model car that's got power windows, power door locks, AC, heat, stereo, cruise control, automatic headlights, like all the things, so.
I really don't like electric windows on early cars. They just always seems to be an issue.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care one way or the other, but I've never had them. Everything I've ever had has had manual windows, I mean, my dually has electric windows and they have the typical square body, will close one day, just not today.
Well,
unless you pull up on it.
I was looking at an ad for a GMC truck, a 2014 3/4 ton regular cab long bed in appliance white, and no one wanted it because it had manual windows and manual door locks.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what year was it?
2014.
Okay. Yeah. See, somewhere in that, like within the next couple of years of that, it quit where you couldn't get, at least not manual locks. And like most cars now, you can't get manual windows or any of that anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, they're all electric,
Well, now all the manufacturers are just building them all one way.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. It's, if you're buying a new car, I was just having this conversation yesterday. If you're buying a new car and let's say it's a new Camaro, you're going to get a 1RS or a 2RS or a 1SS or a 2SS. And the only thing you're choosing is color, couple of little options, which convenience package it does or doesn't have. There's no, it's not like it used to be where there were 150 options that you could get and you could go down the list and check any combination you want. Now, a bunch of them, you can only get this option if you also get this option,
Right.
and get
It
this
comes in
convenient-
packages instead of
Yeah.
individual items.
Right.
Yeah.
The day of the
And-
line item has gone away.
Yeah.
And the reality is that the people that would want to go through the whole thing line by line and pick things is not the norm, right? The reason
Yeah.
that they have these packages is for two reasons. Number one, because they can package the things that are most commonly wanted by people anyway.
Right.
And two, they can throw a few extra things in there and charge a bunch of extra money for them. I mean, here there's a dealership. I was looking at some stuff yesterday of them, and they have that Sam Pack's 5-star Chevrolet. And Sam Pack has all these dealerships here, and they're all 5-star something, right? It's 5-star Ford, 5-star Honda, whatever the hell. Well, they have their 5-star package that they do on a car. Well, it's $1,496 for this package. The package, guess what is in this package? Let's see if you guys can guess any of the things. This is the 5-star package. It is $1,496. What do you think is in that package?
All weather floor mats.
I would say
Better.
formats, window tinting, and
Window tint is one for the front two windows. Okay, because the rear windows are already tinted on this car. So the front two windows.
What kind of car is it?
Nitrogen in the tires.
Ooh.
Doesn't matter.
Ooh.
This is on every car they do.
Oh.
They have this package. So it is 2 windows to be tinted, nitrogen in the tires.
Man, you let that stuff out, it'll ruin the ozone.
I'm telling you, right?
we had that in the Mustang, and that was the biggest. Oh God, because it was like you got to go someplace that does nitrogen, and trying to find someplace that does nitrogen to do your tires is damn near impossible.
No, you just put brick and air in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Nitrogen, and for those of you that are like, oh, I don't understand why nitrogen. What are you talking about? Regular old air, the air we breathe,
It's 60%
is small. Like it's the molecules are way smaller, and over time they can actually seep out of a tire. Nitrogen, the molecules are really big, and it's hard for them to get out of the tire. So your tire pressure stays consistent for longer.
And it doesn't expand. Correct.
Yeah, it doesn't change tire pressure because of heat and cold nearly as much. So, the 5-star package, again, window tint on 2 windows, nitrogen, and the other 2 items, door edge guards and wheel locks. And again, that's $1,496. That wouldn't cost you $200 if you went and bought each of those things retail and called a local tint shop. It literally is not a $200 thing. They make $1,200 on that, including the labor. It's nuts. Yeah.
And it'd be $1,500 if they give you the key for the wheel locks.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
extra. Yeah. Oh my God. I remember when I was working at my uncle's shop when like the Mac guy and the Snap-on guy and all of them came out with the newest, like you can get wheel locks off with this socket, like, oh, it's the jam. And it bites in and it, yanks the lug nuts off. Dude, I used those. Like, I got all of them. None of them worked.
I buy an old 12-point cheapest socket you can find, hammer the freaking thing on there, and back them off.
Yeah,
I did that a couple days ago.
Yeah, that's
and then lay it on the ground and beat it to death with a hammer so you can get the next one off.
Yeah, so you can get the socket.
No, you just take the socket and the lug nut and you throw it at something and hope that it knocks the lug nut out.
That's true. Yeah.
It'll wind up in Wickman's windshield.
I literally had ones where the socket that was the one, that's the one for Mac or whatever, that has the serrations in it. It's trying to thread itself on. You know what I mean? Like an easy out threads in. This thing threads on the outside. It would bite so hard into the lug nut that the lug nuts would break. They would crack the lug nut. Right. And so then the lug nut would break, but not all of it. So the part that no longer had a hex on it was still in there holding the wheel on. Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember us having to pull apart a Ford truck that had a 8.8 in it. It was a Ranger that had a 8.8 in it. And in order to get the wheel and tire off of the truck, we went in and pulled the rear cover, pulled the C-clip off the axle, unbolted the backing plates, like the whole deal, and slid the entire thing off the end of the axle housing and had to start fresh because we were going to destroy the wheel.
There was somebody online the other day. There was some Facebook post, and they had a wheel lock issue with a late model truck.
Yeah,
and they couldn't figure out. They were putting new wheels and tires on it. They couldn't figure out how to get it apart. I'm looking at it and I'm like, just go on the backside of the spindle and take the hub off and the whole freaking wheel, tire, and everything.
Yeah.
Put new brakes and stuff on it. Screw it. Throw it in the trash.
Right. Not the end of the world.
Or just grind off the back of the stud and pop it out.
And pop it out that way. Exactly.
Yep.
100%. Yeah, if you actually got it off that way, you'd.
But you see those ones where the guy saws all the spokes out of the wheels.
Oh yeah.
Now you just have the center of the wheel on the hub. What did you accomplish?
It's still there. Yes. I don't understand. I do not get it. Do what?
I said it's always a BMW too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I always thought, I didn't realize how many vehicles in the world actually have lug bolts instead of lug studs. Yep. I thought forever it was just BMWs, but there's a ton of, import, non-American cars that have lug bolts instead of studs.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, I just feel like that's just way more of a recipe for seizing disaster than putting a nut on one. At least the nut is, you can at least hack the nut away. I don't know. I feel like if you had to get all the way in there and get a bolt out, you couldn't do what we were just talking about, Crosby. You couldn't do that.
Mm-mm.
No way. I don't know.
Yeah. All my Volkswagens, I had 5 Volkswagens and they were all that way.
Yeah. That's weirdo.
I put studs in mine, so. But I'm weird.
Robert J. Bird, we did not sing happy birthday to Crosby. We said happy birthday to him off camera. And
Robert J. Bird, are you coming tomorrow or not?
For the birthday
Let's
party?
see if he answers.
Yes, birthday party at Crosby's. So I wanted to go, but I'm supposed to be announcing an event on Saturday in Ohio and could not get to both, in the time frame. And then last night, the event in Ohio got canceled because of
Of course it did.
You have C10
and it's $1,200 for a plane ticket. So I was like, yep, not going to Crosby's birthday.
You have C10 Nationals.
Yeah.
I do have C10 Nationals, but I'm also.
They wanted me to drive the truck and trailer for TCI back there, and I'm like, no, I'm going to stay and get drunk on my birthday.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm
Got more important shit to do.
I'm doing the pre-run of Rocky Mountain Race Week tomorrow morning. We're starting on that.
Oh, cool.
So, me and Mom and Dad notice. We're gonna hit the road and we're gonna do the entire thing in. We're gonna try and do it in a day. So we're leaving at 6:30 tomorrow morning. Dad and I have done it one time in one day, and the other time we had to stay the night. So, yeah. It's it depends on how many roads you run into in Oklahoma that are not what they say they are on the map. Because that's
that doesn't happen.
Never.
Yeah, red dirt and pavement are apparently interchangeable in Oklahoma.
I am making a run for the border tomorrow.
Oh yeah, you're going to Taco Bell?
No, I am going to go south a couple
Yo
of states.
quiero Taco Bell.
Oh, are you going to El Paso?
Yes, I am.
You're going to El Paso to pick up the truck?
Not pick it up. I've got some stuff I got to drop off. And
okay, gotcha.
What the hell was that sign that Rick bought?
That is some hotel that.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Him and Justin Oni have like some type of competition about who can buy the craziest signage from some.
I think Rick's got him right now.
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
That thing's got to be, 25 feet across?
Well, yeah, because that's what I think that was his dad's new trailer. So that trailer is like 22.
Yeah, and it was all the way to the end of the tongue and hanging over the back.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm going to try and pick this thing up. Yeah, there it is. I would totally own this.
It's freaking cool as shit, that's for sure.
Oh, it's way cool. I would own this, and I would hang it up, or I'd mount it in my yard in front of the shop. Not even kidding. I'm going to show everybody what we're talking about right now. It's
well, I can't talk too much shit.
Yeah, exactly. You have lots of friends. This thing is awesome.
Oh no, that's the old trailer. Okay.
Yeah. Look at that. I mean, that's legit. The Coral Motel in El Paso.
Yeah.
I love it. I don't know what he had to pay for that, but I bet it was expensive.
Yeah, I don't think it was cheap. So.
Yeah. I love it.
But also that there's a sign behind it. That's the El Paso oil.
Okay.
Oh, really? I didn't even see that.
I'm not sure if it's natural gas or petroleum or what, but Justin Oni's like he's got all this memorabilia with El Paso oil. He's like
at Saucy Road, that big it's an Indian sign, isn't it?
Yeah. So
and that's only half of it.
Yeah, the kids, my kids, their grandparents and family in El Paso on their dad's side, or not El Paso, in Amarillo, have an insane collection of cars and signs and all kinds of things. I mean, insane. And Bill, his grandpa, and Corky Coker are really good friends.
Yeah.
So they buy stuff all like if Corky sees something that he knows Bill will like, he, buys it and, this kind of stuff. So they have, if you've ever seen Corky Coker's shop with all the signs up everywhere and stuff, Bill's is not quite as extreme as that, but that same level. So Bill called him one time and there was an Indian motorcycle dealership that was closing and had a neon sign that's got to be, it has to be 25 feet wide.
That thing's got to be 20 feet tall.
Yeah, it's huge.
If it's an inch.
Yeah, it's giant.
It takes up probably, 75% of that wall of that shop is what?
And that shop
60 or 70 feet deep?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, this shop building is 6,000 square feet, I would guess, or more. It's an insane sign. And like Crosby said, Bill has this sign. It's only half of the sign because the sign was a two-sided sign. Bill bought the whole sign, brought it to his shop, split it so it was two, and sent the other half to Corky Coker because he had sent a picture of it to Corky and said, I assume you want the other half of this. And
Corky they had to break it all down to do it. Oh, yeah. Because it's all neon and everything. It's amazing.
And it's fully functional. And You know, all that. It's badass.
I was at a show and was talking with Corky, and he was telling me about this 56 Chevy that he bought, and then he proceeds to pull out his phone, and he's like going like looking at the truck and the pictures. Then he's like, oh, but check out this sign I just got, or check out this what I just got, and he's like going through like photos of around the warehouse, and I was just like, holy, like that is just nuts.
It's
like,
nuts
what all he has in his place.
Yeah, it is absolutely nuts. Yeah, I mean, when you have the money to be able to buy all the cool things whenever you see them, then you end up with a thing like Corky Coker's shop, which is awesome because the things that we've all seen at a show somewhere or whatever and not been able to afford but would have loved to have had, like if you had the money to just buy that stuff, think about it. I mean, think about all the cool shit you'd have, you know, hanging up in your shop or whatever, you know.
And just think of the
bullshit.
Right.
Just think of the vindication you get after you die, and your kids have to do something with all this crap.
Awesome. No, because what you do if you're that rich, you just leave all that to like a museum or whatever, and you know, it's fine.
Well, that's what I found out. Is like those guys only go to like one show a year, and it's basically Hershey, the swap meet there. And when I was there a couple years ago, I saw the grounds where they basically set the show up, and you think Pate is big? No.
Oh no, Pate's little compared. Yeah.
I was just like that. I've talked to guys that have been there for like 3-4 days walking the entire time and everything.
Dude, the Turlock swap meet in Northern California, which is tiny compared, that's still a 2-day swap meet. You can't go through that whole swap meet in a day. No way. You know.
You can barely go through Pomona in a day.
Yeah, barely. I mean, you got to hustle. If you're going to go through the whole thing, you have to hustle to make it through in a day. I mean, as far as to get out of there, I don't remember what time does Pomona close. We're always leaving by 1 o'clock, but
I think you got to be out of there by 5.
Okay, gotcha. But I mean, by 3 o'clock, they're closing shit. You know,
we've run out of beer by then, so
so we have left.
People are like packing up and leaving.
Applebee's is calling my name.
Yeah, we didn't. But here's the thing: like, don't make us running out of beer sound like we planned poorly. We know exactly how many beers we need in order to run out at the time when we're going to want to leave anyway.
Yeah, we want to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, we want to go before the giant crowd to leave goes, and we want to go eat. I mean, because hungry.
Need something to absorb all the alcohol.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing like driving a hot rod with 6 or 8 and 9 beers in you.
Yes, exactly. It's fine.
What could go wrong?
Yeah. Oh, and another thing I found out, I was watching, speaking of swap meets, I watched Puddin's new video today where him and Morsky went to Pate.
Yes.
And they have porta cans all over the place, but their people rented those and they put locks on them and you can't use them.
Right. It's the same as the NHRA national event. You can rent your own porta potties and have them next to your pit area if you want. And then, people will put a lock on them or put them inside their, little confines.
That was the first time I've seen anything like that. I was like,
oh yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
So Pate doesn't.
Any way to make money.
Yeah.
Good Pate, guys is all about it.
Yeah. Just taking the toilet paper out on wasn't working. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So they spend all this or have all this money come in from like the vendors, but then they don't put up any porta cans.
Yeah. Well,
Steven, will you stop talking so much?
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You've had a long day.
I've had a long 3 weeks.
Really?
Oh yeah.
So where are you going next?
No, I actually have a weekend to try and play catch up now. So
nice.
Oh, that's cool.
But
that's good.
I've had a lower eyelid twitch for the last 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, because you're just losing your mind. Yeah.
It's fine.
Uh-huh.
So
it's fine.
Well, give Claudia a hug for us, please.
Yes.
We'll do.
I saw them at LS Fest West. We had a good time.
I didn't go, so
I know you should have. It was fun. I was sending Crosby text messages of what his car was running on the drag strip. I was like, "Ooh, it ran a 12, whatever. Ooh, it ran this. Ooh, it ran that. 1198 or whatever it was. I don't remember.
yeah, I think fastest was 1198.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Andy Vocal was the quickest on the drag strip, and he ran a 1040.
In Brett's car?
1040 with a 3. No, in his car.
That wasn't his car.
Yeah.
The white car is Brett's car.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the one.
Yeah, that's the white one.
No, his
the black
is the
one's his.
pink one. Yeah. No, he was
Black
in the white
pink.
car. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he's in
He
the
was
white
in a supercharged car.
And he drives the orange and white one for Lingerfelton.
That's his car.
Yeah.
The orange and white one is?
Yeah, the orange and white car was Brett's, and the black
that's Brett's
the
car
that is now black and pink is Andy's.
That's
But
Andy's
Brett got
car.
a new Z06, and now Andy is driving the orange and white car at some events and the black and pink car at all the grid life events.
Yeah, the last time I went down there to Brett's house, he calls me up and he goes, "How much stuff are you bringing with you?" And I go, "Probably just a backpack." He goes, "All right, look for the red vet."
Oh, that's funny.
So how many does he have? What, 3 or 4?
3.
3, okay.
Yeah,
Plus
black and pink, orange and white, and the
GT3 RS Porsche too.
Yeah, what color is that thing? Silver, right?
No, it's red.
Is it red? Oh, okay,
red.
Gotcha. They are supposed to be testing that thing, the Z06 versus that, like soon.
And the supercharged car too.
Oh, that's right. They're going to run all 3 on the same day on the same track.
At Apex.
Yeah, at Apex. That's right, because they're members up at Apex. So, yeah, they're going to run there to see how the new Z06 is compared to the GT3 RS.
And he's going to have his new little building over there here pretty soon at Apex.
At Apex? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, his garage.
Yeah. That's good.
So they'll probably leave the Radical there.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. They just blew the Radical up. So it needs
Yep, it's hurt.
He blew the Radical up? Oh,
yeah, blew up the motor in it.
Uh-huh.
Andy was like a half a lap or a lap from the end or something like that, and it let go and he coasted around. I mean, he's really good on points, but he was like in the lead or second or something, and it done blowed up.
Because he's what, second or third in points right now, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I think third. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
So
I drove the only street legal Radical. Well, no, let me rephrase that. I drove the only registered on the street Radical in the country when I worked for Spectre Performance. It was the only one that was actually registered and insured and had a title. And it had been registered in Utah or something like that.
Isn't that the one they used at the Optima event?
Yeah, because it was Amir's brother. Amir's brother bought it and from the Radical people, and I picked it up at Fontana. During a Radical event, I went out there and picked it up, and Mladen followed me back to the shop, and I went from Fontana, from the California Speedway, over to Spectre Performance, and it was arguably the scariest thing I've ever done in a car because I drove it there, and it will go under every big rig. Like there isn't a trailer on the planet that son of a bitch won't go under. I mean, it's literally like this tall. In the car, it's not as tall as a countertop. I mean, it's like, it's insane. It's a big go-kart. I mean, it legitimately does not feel much bigger than a Malibu Grand Prix car used to.
Yeah.
But this one was a 2-seater. I subsequently ran it around the big track at Willow a bunch of times, but it had a 11 or 1200 cc Hayabusa motor in it that was way
1300
up.
cc Hayabusa.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, it was way wicked up. It did not have a turbo on it, but it was an NA.
Most of them don't.
Yeah,
now they're offering the V8 version of them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They're doing it's this thing was insane. We raced around the big track at Willow a bunch of times, and it was fun, but it was scary. But on the freeway, next to cars and trucks and stuff, like people in normal cars would not have seen you if you were next to them in traffic. Like that's how close to the ground this thing is. So it just felt like all the time somebody's going to change lanes and run me over. Like that was it. And the only thing that will save me is the fact that I can go in between things like super fast. But yeah, Mladen's following behind me thinking, I'm going to watch you die. That's what he told me. We get to the shop. He goes, well, I'm glad you're not dead. I go, thanks. He's like, I swear to God, I thought you were going to die 100 times. I said, I thought I was going to die 50. So I'm glad I didn't see the other 50 times, you know? Oh, it sucked. Yeah.
Chad, did you ever meet Evan Guyette from Super Bell?
I don't think so. Yeah, I know who, but I don't think so.
He's got a customer that has a M8F that they're going to take up to Button Willow.
What's an M8F?
Can-Am car, McLaren.
Oh. No way.
Mm-hmm.
Big block?
Dude.
Yep.
Okay, which that's what a radical looks like. Ooh. It's just that this is an actual real size.
I have a picture of it. Hold on.
Is that what David Posey's is? What is his?
No, his is a Lola.
His is a Lola.
A Lola, that's
the T60.
Right. Yeah, his is so cool though. God, that's a neat car. I love that.
So Evan and the Hessian, Gus Stewart, we're gonna go up to Button Willow when they run it.
Dude,
I told Evan, I go, I just want to sit in it. Yeah. I don't even want to drive it. I just want to sit in it.
I mean, this is the car that, like, you know, inspired Speed Racer and all those things. I mean, you know, it was like Speed Racer. You look at this car and you look at a and then a C3 Corvette, and if they had a baby, it would look like Speed Racer. You know, that's so cool where the fenders are like right there next to the ground, and you know, I love it.
I think that's a D.
This one is or
is that an M6?
So M8C.
An M8C. It's an M8C.
That's the one with the rounded fenders like the M6.
Yeah.
Like that car thing that they used on Hardcastle and McCormick.
Oh yeah. That was great. I loved that show, by the way.
That was a kit car. That was just a Volkswagen.
It was.
Yeah,
no,
but
the original one was not.
That's what the car was
Coyote.
based off of.
Yeah, it's called a Coyote. And the original one was not a Volkswagen, but subsequent, the second and third seasons or whatever they did, I actually wrote a story on that car. They did end up doing them on VW.
I did send you a picture
so they could jump them and stuff and not destroy them completely. So
nice.
This is the car.
Okay, that's pretty awesome. Not gonna lie, I want that. I'll take it.
So the guy loves Evan so much, so he didn't have to take stuff back and forth to his shop.
Yeah.
He literally set his shop up with all the same tools that Evan has in his shop.
No way.
So you can come over to his shop, work on stuff, and everything's in the same place.
So that it's not like, in this shop. Wow.
You're not wandering around trying to find it. He literally went in, mapped out Evan's shop, and set his shop up the same way.
That's
thoughtful.
When you have money.
That's thoughtful. That's exactly Steven. That's thoughtful.
Yep.
Nobody has done that for Steven. Just saying. No. Yeah.
Well, by the way, Steven, you would love Evan. He's probably the only person mellower than you are. So.
Yeah. Luckily, it wasn't Crosby's shop the guy went into because he just would have turned around and walked out.
Right.
Well, I'm going to be as nice as I possibly can about this. It's better than your shop, Wickham, that has a Torx that you don't actually have a Torx bolt that fits, a pair of vice grips, and a rounded off Phillips screwdriver.
I've got thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars in tools, but just no place to put them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking handy.
Yeah, exactly.
They're all in. I've got 5 roll around carts, totes, boxes.
And how many states are they all in? I feel bad for Wickman.
Don't even. Yeah.
The funny thing is, Steven and I can do better work with the rounded off Phillips screwdrivers, the vice grips, and the Torx than you could with all the shit you got.
He's on fire tonight, Wickman.
Wow.
Okay, on that note, I'm saying we're pulling the plug for the night. We've been live for an hour and 30 minutes at this point. So to everybody that joined us tonight, thank you so much. Wickman, thank you. Steven, thank you for joining us on this mellow edition. You got to come back again.
I know.
Crosby, happy birthday.
Thank you.
You look distinguished.
Oh, yeah. I finally decided to let it grow out a little bit, and I'm about over it.
I was going to say, has it gotten to the point where it just makes you want to, scratch your face or what?
No, way past that. It just, this ain't me.
That's enough of that.
Hey,
I figured after tomorrow, I'm done with it.
There you go. That's it. Clean shaven, and you'll look so much younger already for your birthday.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. Even better.
Dude, you look younger already.
Yeah.
You're going backwards now? Yes. That's what I'm doing. Yes.
That's the strategy. You grow it out until your birthday, and then you shave, and then everyone's like, oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow,
man,
you look so good.
He's lost years.
Yeah. 60 looks so good on you. That's great. That's a good idea, Steven. I like that.
Look at Day over 63.
Yeah, exactly. Brandon Mansfield, the Bass Knuckler, a couple other people have mentioned me announcing the VW event in Vegas in December. And yes, I will. They have hired me to come in. It's a one-day only part of a bigger thing, I guess. Next year, they're hoping to have it be a 3-day event, but it's the Race
a bug-in or what?
Yeah, it's a Race of Champions. It's big. Apparently, the fastest bugs in the country are coming out to race there. That's going to be pretty cool. Do what?
They don't have Sacramento anymore, so
yeah, there is no Sacramento. Yeah,
no.
Oh, nope. Yeah. So yeah, it's good. So it's December 7th is the event. So yeah, I'll be there that first week of December. Oh, dude!
Oh, that's freaking cool.
Oh, nice.
Where'd you find that? Everything?
Do what?
Where'd you find
lift it?
I did all the work on it.
Okay, it's awesome.
But this one, in the other hand,
that's pretty cool.
Nice.
That one's fucked.
Okay, I would own that. Yes, the as the Bass Knuckler says, this is Corey McClanathan's event that's in Vegas.
So.
So yeah, Corey's guys hit me up and said, "Hey, we want you to come do this. It's fun." And it's funny because Corey doesn't put his name on it hardly at all. So
Does he still have the Gia?
I don't know. Honestly,
I think he does.
Yeah, I don't know.
Does he? I haven't seen that. It's probably 92, 93 when he had the shop down Dorvalinda.
Yeah.
When he had the top alcohol car.
They hit me up a couple months ago and asked if I would come do it. And, they're already... I told him the other day, I said, dude, you guys, let's just worry about getting through this year. They're like, okay, for next year, we want you to live stream it and do all the things. I'm like, that's all great. But, dude, that's like 20 months from now.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's okay. I'll keep you on the calendar. It's good. It's not a real busy week.
Brain power to that right now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh. But yeah, they're super nice guys. And I hope the event's really cool. So I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun. So bugs are cool. 21 window vans are rad. I want all of them. I may or may not have bid on a Volkswagen Beetle the other day on auction because nobody had bid on it yet. And I thought, okay, it would be a disservice if I didn't at least bid on it. I was the lead bidder until like 30 minutes before it sold at $75. It ended up selling 69.
Oh yeah.
And it was a convertible, a 69 convertible. It had rusty floors, not horrible, but rusty floors. Needed a carb rebuild. It had ran as daily driver running 3 years ago and then been parked. But it ended up parked. Yeah, it ended up selling for a couple grand or whatever, which still sounded like a really good deal. But yeah, when it was like literally $20 was the starting bid, I'm like, yes, I'm in on that. Yeah,
Don't mind.
Not in at $1,000. It may be a great deal at that, but I already said I'm not buying any more projects. And when it
cost me $1,500 to get it home, but
no, it was right here. Yeah, though.
Oh, no way.
I bid on things that aren't home. Yeah. I only bid at auctions that are here. I can't afford to ship things. So
that's where you draw the line.
Yes. I mean, come on. Hey, I own a school bus for one reason and one reason only, because I own a trailer that would haul it home. If I didn't own a trailer that would haul the school bus home, I wouldn't have bought the school bus. Okay. I mean, I want the school bus, but I wouldn't have bought it if I had to pay $300 or $400 or $500 or $1,000 to have it towed home. But when you could show up in your own truck with your own big ass
with that kind of rationale, who could go wrong?
I know, dude. It's not good. Giant trailers, bad, very, very bad. All right. Well, thank you, boys. Appreciate it.
All right.
And
have fun.
We will be back in 2 weeks. McTaggart will be back then too. If you guys have suggestions for the next show, whether it's one of you weirdos or all of you weirdos out there watching, let me know.
I will have all kinds of updates on the OBS. So.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
So take pictures of the sign when you're there too.
Yes.
Fingers crossed I can get the truck to the C10 Nationals in Salt Lake City.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Yeah.
That'd be really good. You can go hang out with Steven.
There you go.
If he's in town.
There you go.
Even better. All right.
Well, you guys have fun.
You guys. Yep. Appreciate it.
All
we will see you guys all next time.
See you.
Later.
See ya.